Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how the mayoral race of New York City will reflect on what we should expect to see in the 2028 presidential election, because I believe that this race between Mamdani, Cuomo, and Eric Adams is going to prove to us what 2028 is going to look like, and how the progressive movement and basically socialist Democrats are taking control of the party, and it's no longer the establishment, which Kamala Harris is kind of a part of that. They're moving on in a new direction and a new path. I'm going to be showing you guys how that can shape up the 2028 election map based on these results. But before we get started, make sure you guys are subscribed, click the bell so you don't miss out my content, press the like button, share this video if you're interested. Don't forget, we have memberships. You can find a link to that in the description section. So Mamdani, who is a socialist Democrat, he defeated longtime politician Andrew Cuomo, and the main reason why was because Cuomo had a lot of scandals, and people thought that Cuomo was going to win. I personally believe that Mamdani had a realistic chance of winning. At the very end, I called it, and guess what? Mamdani ended up winning. But he won by a substantial amount. I did not, even though I thought he would win, I didn't think it would be by this much, of roughly 7 percentage points. That's a likely comfortable margin. Now, in terms of the state, Mamdani performed better in the inner city of New York. Andrew Cuomo, on the other hand, performed better on the outskirts of New York, like the island part, and Cuomo did better in the Bronx by a wide margin. So Mamdani did better in Manhattan, inside New York, Queens, Brooklyn, those types of places is where Mamdani did good, and he was backed. He was supported, endorsed by other progressive socialist Democrats. AOC, he was endorsed by progressive AOC, backed Mamdani to defeat Cuomo, and Mamdani just had the momentum. He reached out. He resonated with younger voters, people who are struggling and just wanted change, reform in the Democratic Party. They did not want to see the same thing with Cuomo again. Cuomo already served as mayor, and Democrats wanted something else. They wanted a new vision, this being Mamdani. Now, he is a socialist Democrat, so he also was backed by Bernie Sanders, another fellow socialist Democrat. So, progressives, socialists is basically going to take over the Democratic Party in 2028 is what I'm trying to say. Not necessarily socialism, but progressive specifically. And I won't be shocked if Bernie Sanders does run in 2028. Now, I understand age is definitely a concern, but considering his age, he is very healthy. And in terms of cognitive, he is definitely better than someone compared to Joe Biden. So with that being said, I do think that there's a potential, because of these results, with 93% of the estimated voters in, because of these results, I do believe that Bernie Sanders and AOC could be the top of the ticket for the Democrats in 2028 based on these results. I mean, who else is there? Kamala Harris again? No, that's not going to happen. I mean, maybe Josh Shapiro, but his chances are kind of decreasing. I don't know if he's even going to run. I think he's probably the strongest one there, but in terms of candidates, I mean, Pete Buttigieg is not going to win the nomination. I think the highest chance is Sanders and AOC. I won't be shocked if AOC gets third place, maybe even second. I'm not trying to reach, but I do think that's a very possibility, considering that a socialist Democrat, Mamdani, has defeated Andrew Cuomo. Now, I know Cuomo's a very weak candidate, but even if Mamdani were to win, maybe by 1 to 2 points, no one thought 7, because the amount was so great. That goes to show you the Democratic Party really wants reform. And it looks like that the most realistic Republican nomination in 2028 will be a Vance-Rubio ticket, Rubio VP, or maybe the other way around. Maybe Vance is the VP for Marco Rubio. We're going to see. So I think top 2 choices for Republicans in 2028 is Vance, Rubio. Top 2 for Democrats because of these results, probably Sanders, AOC. And those 2 candidates literally endorsed Mamdani to win, and they supported him. So that's the new Democratic Party. It is no longer Joe Biden. It is no longer Kamala Harris. I think she's actually going to run for governor, by the way. They want progressives. They want, I wouldn't say socialists, but Mamdani is a socialist. But Bernie Sanders is a Democratic socialist. So I think Bernie Sanders, 3 times a charm. I mean, who says no? I think he can definitely be the nominee. in 2028. He was supposed to in 2016. We all know what happened with Hillary Clinton. So, with this matchup, Vance Rubio versus Sanders AOC, I do believe it will be a very tight election, considering that the previous administration is controlled by Republicans. I believe the country would obviously want to shift in a new direction. They're not going to elect, another 4 more years of more Republican leadership. I doubt that's true. Now, I'm not saying Sanders and AOC would 100% defeat Vance and Rubio. No, that's not the case. Rubio and Vance could definitely defeat Sanders and AOC. So, Michigan, Georgia, and Wisconsin, I think, will be flipped from red to blue in 2028 in this specific matchup. Let's begin with Georgia. Georgia is a left trendy state shifting towards the left, especially Atlanta, the metropolitan area. I can see this state shifting blue in 2028, just how it did in 2020. It's not a long shot for Democrats at all. Matter of fact, Georgia almost went to Kamala Harris. Trump only won it by 2 points. Meanwhile, you see every other battleground state significantly shift over to the right. Nevada shifted towards the right by, I believe, about 5 points. Arizona shifted to right by over 5 points. Meanwhile, Georgia only shifts to the right by 2 points. That's a big difference. Nevada, Arizona in 2024 compared to 2020 shifted to the right, both of them by over 5 points. Georgia only 2 points to the right. That goes to show you that in 2028, if Democrats play their cards correctly, I think they possibly can. They will have momentum similar to this race. They want change. They want reform among their party. They want a new progressive movement. And I think the Democratic Party, the Democratic base, is looking for their Donald Trump, their type of candidate that is the Donald Trump of the Democratic Party. That's what they're looking for. Someone who can bring enthusiasm to the base. That's what Mamdani did. And he was backed by Sanders AOC. So I think they could be at the top of the ticket in 2028. So I believe Georgia could possibly flip blue in 2028 with its 16 electoral votes. Now, as for Wisconsin, this state was the bluest Rust Belt state of the three, which surprised a lot of people, including myself. And considering that it only went to Trump by 0.8%, I can see Wisconsin being a shift from red to blue in 2028. I honestly think Sanders and AOC, that ticket, can win Wisconsin with its 10 electoral votes. And then you have Michigan. I believe this could also be a Democratic flip in the year of 2028. Trump won it by about 1.5 percentage points. Things are looking different. Trump is no longer on the ballot. It will probably be Vance and Rubio. Rubio is not a good Rust Belt type of candidate. I understand Vance is. He's from Ohio. But I do believe Michigan, deep down, is leaning towards a blue state. Now, I understand it shifted so to the right. Donald Trump did very good, don't get me wrong. But I believe a Sanders and AOC ticket can really get voters out there. Keep in mind, they have a Democratic governor, Gretchen Whitmer, who won back in 2022 by 10 points. That goes to show you the Democrats can win in Michigan. They've done it before. They do it majority of the time, actually. It was rare that Trump won it in 2024 and 2016 as well. So, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia are 3 states that I see going to Democrats in 2028. Now, Pennsylvania will be a little bit harder. That's why I'm going to leave it in red. I believe Vance can perform very strongly in Pennsylvania. Not as good as Trump. If he were to win it, probably by under a percentage point. But this just goes to show you that the race will be extremely close. Even though in this map I don't have Sanders AOC winning, the fact that they get to 267 electoral votes goes to show you that this could be a good ticket for them. Even though they don't quite get 270, they're just 3 away. The map is extremely close. I just think Pennsylvania is the reddest Rust Belt state. That's what Republicans lie on moving forward. I see Wisconsin, Michigan flipping back to the Democrats. Possibly you can throw Georgia as a Sun Belt state up in there. I see Nevada, Arizona, North Carolina remaining in the Republican column. So it's going to be a very close election in 2028. I believe this is the most realistic outcome. Vance Rubio 271, Sanders AOC 267. So we go back to the main point of this video before I close it out. These results in New York City's mayoral election will reflect on what 2028 will look like. It's literally giving us a hint. If you want to know what 2028 is going to look like for the Democratic nomination, just take a look at New York's mayoral election. Now, they do have ranked choice voting, so they're going to, I think, repeat this again, but without the other candidates that were completely useless. It's just going to be a head-to-head matchup, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong, between Cuomo and Mamdani. It's not going to help Cuomo at all whatsoever. Mamdani will more than likely win and go off against, I believe, Eric Adams, who is currently an independent. Tell me if I'm wrong. I believe Eric Adams has a better chance than Cuomo, but still, Mamdani has all the momentum. So there you guys go. That's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. One last final reminder to subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss all my content. Press the like button. Share this video. Don't forget we have memberships. If you're interested, you can find links to that in the description section. Thank you everyone for watching.